the Arcturian ship appeared in Earth's orbit without warning. Its sleek blue hull shimmered against the blackness of space as it hovered above the planet. News of the alien vessel spread quickly across Earth. Governments scrambled to respond. Military forces went on high alert. Citizens looked to the skies with a mixture of fear and wonder. Director Kim of the Global Space Coalition sat in the underground command center, surrounded by screens showing the alien vessel from every angle. His normally calm face showed tension as reports flooded in from observatories worldwide. "Any response to our communications?" he asked the communications officer. "Nothing yet, sir," she replied. Then, unexpectedly, every screen in the command center flickered. The face of a being appeared, humanoid but clearly alien, with pale blue skin and large, almond-shaped eyes. "People of Earth," the alien said in perfect English. "We are representatives of the Galactic Council. We come in peace and friendship." 3 days later, Director Kim and Admiral Park sat across from the alien delegates in a hastily prepared meeting room at the United Nations headquarters. The lead alien, who called himself Representative Mun, explained their purpose. "The Galactic Council oversees peace among 300 species," Mun said. "We invite Earth to join as a protected species." Admiral Park leaned forward. "Protected from what?" Representative Mun smiled. "The universe is vast and not always kind. Some species are aggressive. The Council ensures the safety of developing worlds like yours." "And what does Earth gain from this arrangement?" Director Kim asked. "Access to medical technology that will extend human life. Clean energy solutions. Limited space travel within your solar system." Mun paused. "And most importantly, security." "And what does the Council want in return?" Admiral Park's voice remained neutral, but her eyes narrowed slightly. "Very little. Earth sits on a strategic trade route. We would establish a small outpost here. And as with all protected species, you would need to disarm your military technology. Weapons bring only conflict." The discussions continued for weeks. Earth's leaders debated the offer while scientists studied the limited technology the aliens shared as a gesture of goodwill. The medical advances alone could save millions of lives. President Choi addressed the world leaders gathered for the final vote. "This is humanity's greatest opportunity. The benefits far outweigh the concerns. I recommend we accept membership in the Galactic Council." The vote passed with an overwhelming majority. Only a few nations expressed reservations about the disarmament requirement. Later that evening, Director Kim, Admiral Park, and President Choi met in a secure room swept for listening devices. "I don't trust them," Admiral Park said bluntly. "No advanced civilization offers this much while asking only for disarmament. They want something more." President Choi sighed. "I agree, but we can't refuse. The world has already embraced the idea. Did you notice how they mentioned Earth's position on a trade route 3 times? Director Kim added. "They value our location, not our friendship." Admiral Park unfolded a paper map. No digital records could be risked. "I propose Operation Shadow Veil. While we publicly disarm as required, we secretly begin construction here." She pointed to a location in the asteroid belt beyond Neptune. "A warship?" President Choi asked, looking concerned. "A safeguard," Admiral Park corrected. "One hidden vessel with our best technology. If the Council truly means well, they'll never know it exists. If they don't." She left the sentence unfinished. Director Kim nodded slowly. "We'll need to select crew and engineers who can disappear without raising questions. And we'll need to move resources gradually, disguised as scientific missions." "Can it be done before the disarmament deadline?" President Choi asked. "No," Admiral Park admitted. "But we can complete the basic framework and continue building in secret after joining the Council. If I select the right team, we can have it operational within 5 years." President Choi stared at the map for a long moment. "Do it. Select your team. Director Kim will handle the resource allocation." 2 months later, Earth formally joined the Galactic Council. The signing ceremony was broadcast worldwide. Children released doves as Representative Munn proclaimed a new era of peace. That same night, Admiral Park's selected team quietly departed Earth on what was officially listed as a long-term scientific mission to study the outer planets. Operation Shadow Veil had begun. No one noticed the slight smile on Representative Munn's face as he watched Earth's first military satellites power down. The newest protected species had joined the fold, exactly as planned. 5 years passed since Earth joined the Galactic Council. The promised medical advances had extended human lifespans. Clean energy powered homes worldwide. Small human ships explored the solar system under Council supervision. On the surface, it seemed Earth had entered a golden age. Dr. Lee sat in her small office at the Global Research Institute, analyzing data that kept her awake at night. As a xenobiologist working with Council scientists, she had access to records other humans didn't. What she found disturbed her deeply. She checked that her door was locked before activating her secure tablet. The screen showed statistics from 50 protected planets. All followed the same pattern: initial prosperity followed by stagnation. Resources flowed primarily toward Council core worlds. Protected species remained permanently junior members. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. She quickly hid the tablet. "Come in," she called. Director Kim entered, closing the door behind him. "You wanted to see me urgently?" "Yes." Dr. Lee's voice dropped to a whisper. "I found something in the Council Biological Archive." She retrieved her tablet and showed him images of ancient Earth. "These are labeled as routine observation records," she explained. "But look at the timestamps. The Council has been watching Earth for over 3,000 years. Director Kim studied the images with growing concern. "Are you suggesting they've been influencing our development?" "Not just suggesting. I have proof." She swiped to another file. "These show deliberate intervention. They diverted an asteroid that would have advanced human technology in the 14th century. They introduced diseases to collapse emerging civilizations they deemed problematic. Why would they do this? To ensure we developed exactly as they wanted. Not too fast, not too slow. They shaped us like gardeners pruning a tree." Director Kim sat heavily in the chair across from her. "Does anyone else know about this?" "No. I came straight to you." He nodded. "Keep it that way. Continue your research, but tell no one." After leaving Dr. Lee's office, Director Kim traveled to a seemingly ordinary apartment building. Inside a specific unit, he pressed his hand against a wall panel. A hidden room opened, containing secure communications equipment. "Connect me to Admiral Park," he ordered the system. Minutes later, Admiral Park's face appeared on the screen. The connection was routed through 7 relay points to hide its origin. Behind her, metal walls suggested she was aboard a vessel. "This better be important," Admiral Park said. "These connections risk detection." "It is." Dr. Lee found evidence the Council has manipulated human development for thousands of years. Admiral Park's expression hardened. "Always suspected they weren't honest about first contact." "There's more," Director Kim continued. "I've received reports from our agents embedded in Council trade missions. Resource agreements heavily favor Council worlds. Our colonies on Mars and Europa are being systematically exploited." "Matches what we've seen out here," Admiral Park replied. "Council ships regularly travel beyond the permitted boundaries. They're not respecting the treaty zones." A junior officer approached Admiral Park and whispered something. She nodded before turning back to the screen. "How's President Choi handling this?" "Growing concerned. Council representatives increasingly overrule her decisions. They've started monitoring government communications, claiming security protocols." "An Operation Shadow Veil?" Director Kim allowed himself a small smile. "Officially, we remain fully compliant with disarmament. Resources continue to flow to your location disguised as scientific equipment." "Good. The HSS Dauntless is ahead of schedule. Hull is complete. Weapons systems at 70%. Life support operational. Admiral Park glanced over her shoulder, then leaned closer to the screen. Our engineers made breakthroughs by studying the limited Council tech. We've incorporated their advances while adding our own innovations. The Dauntless will match or exceed their military vessels. How much longer? 6 months until fully operational. But we could launch now if necessary. Director Kim's secure tablet beeped. He checked it and frowned. A new development. Council representatives just delivered what they're calling updated membership guidelines to President Choi. They're demanding oversight positions in all Earth governments. Control through bureaucracy, Admiral Park muttered. Classic approach from what we've learned about their other protected worlds. There's something else. Our intelligence intercepted Council communications. They refer to Earth and other protected planets as resource nodes. We're not allies. We're assets. Admiral Park's face hardened. Continue as planned. We'll accelerate completion if possible. The Dauntless remains our only leverage. And still our best-kept secret, Director Kim agreed. The Council believes we completely disarmed as required. Let them believe that, Admiral Park said. When the time comes, they'll learn that humans don't surrender their freedom so easily. The communication ended. Director Kim erased all evidence of the call and exited the secret room. Outside, the evening sky glowed with the lights of a Council ship passing overhead. Watching Earth's obedient citizens below, the Council representatives arrived at the global government complex without warning. Their blue skin seemed paler under Earth's sun as they marched past security checkpoints without stopping. Guards stepped aside, their training overcome by the aliens' air of authority. President Choi was in the middle of a cabinet meeting when the doors opened. Representative Mun entered, followed by 4 other Council members. This meeting is now adjourned, Mun announced to the humans. Except for President Choi. The cabinet members looked to their president, who nodded slightly. They filed out in silence, faces tight with concern. To what do I owe this unexpected visit? President Choi asked once they were alone. Mun placed a small device on the table. It projected a holographic document that floated in the air between them. The Council has determined that Earth requires additional security measures, he stated. Recent assessments indicate concerning patterns of independent thought and unauthorized technological development. President Choi kept her expression neutral. I wasn't aware thinking independently violated our agreement. Mun's eyes narrowed. Your humor is noted, but this is a serious matter. The Council will establish permanent bases on Earth. 1 on each continent. Each base will house 5,000 Council personnel. Military personnel, President Choi clarified. Security forces, Mun corrected. For your protection. And if we feel we don't need this protection? Mun's voice hardened. This is not a request. You have 30 days to prepare suitable locations. After that time, our forces will establish the bases with or without your cooperation. After Mun departed, President Choi immediately summoned Director Kim to her private office. The room was swept for listening devices daily. They're making their move, she said without preamble. Permanent military bases on Earth. Director Kim's face darkened. Just as Dr. Lee predicted. The same pattern they've used on other worlds before fully incorporating them. How much time do we need? President Choi asked. Admiral Park reports the Dauntless is nearly ready, but certain systems remain untested. President Choi walked to the window. Outside, a Council ship hovered over the city, its shadow falling across the government buildings. Look at that, she said quietly. They don't even try to hide their surveillance anymore. 3 days later, news arrived that a Council fleet had positioned itself near Mars. 15 warships, officially their 4th training exercises. Earth's delegation requested an emergency meeting at the Council headquarters on their orbital station. The massive chamber held representatives from dozens of species, though only the founding races held voting power. Earth appreciates the Council's concern for our security, said Ambassador Khan, speaking from the junior members' platform. However, we believe permanent bases violate the spirit of our agreement. The Council leader, a tall reptilian being, spoke with dismissive authority. The Council determines what is necessary for the collective good. Earth's strategic position makes it vulnerable. We must ensure its protection. By occupying us? Ambassador Kong asked. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Other protected species watched with interest. Choose your words carefully, the Council leader warned. Remember your status. We request equal representation before any such measure is implemented, Ambassador Kong continued. As a full member, not a protected species. The chamber erupted. The Council leader slammed his ceremonial staff against the floor, restoring order. Your request is denied. The security measures will proceed as planned. Ambassador Khan left the chamber immediately, sending an encoded message to Earth, diplomatic options exhausted. That evening, Director Kim met President Choi in the underground command center. Maps of Earth showed potential Council base locations. Our intelligence confirms their fleet is preparing to move, Director Kim reported. They'll arrive in 5 days. President Choi closed her eyes briefly. Do we have any options? We can appear to cooperate. Request additional time for preparations. And actually? Activate Lazarus Rising. President Choi knew what that meant. The emergency protocol they had hoped never to use. Make the call, she ordered. Deep in space beyond Neptune, Admiral Park received the coded message. She gathered her senior officers in the Dauntless Command Center. It's time, she announced. Lazarus Rising is activated. Commander Bay, her second in command, looked concerned. The weapon systems aren't fully calibrated. We're out of time, Admiral Park replied. Earth has 30 days before occupation begins. We need 10 to reach optimal position. And if the Council discovers us before then? Admiral Park's expression was grim. Then humanity fights with what we have. Back on Earth, President Choi addressed the world, her face carefully composed to hide her true feelings. After careful consideration, Earth accepts the Council's security measures, she announced. We request only additional time to prepare suitable facilities for our friends and protectors. Behind the scenes, military units quietly moved to predetermined positions. Civilians in areas near potential Council bases were evacuated under the guise of construction projects. In orbit, Council observers reported that Earth's defensive systems were powering down, a show of compliance and good faith. The Council believed humanity had surrendered. They were wrong. The Council fleet moved toward Earth with confidence. 15 warships in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight as they passed the orbit of Mars. Inside the lead vessel, Fleet Commander June surveyed the holographic display of the approaching planet. Status report, he ordered. Earth's defensive systems are powering down as agreed, his officer replied. Their military satellites are offline. Ground-based weapons deactivated. June nodded with satisfaction. As expected. These protected species always surrender when faced with superior force. On the Council's orbital station, representatives from 30 species gathered for an emergency session. The Grand Chamber buzzed with excited conversation. Today would mark Earth's formal transition to a directly controlled world. Ambassador Khan entered the chamber alone. The human looked calm despite the circumstances, wearing traditional diplomatic attire. Council members noted his composure with mild surprise. The human shows dignity in defeat, whispered one alien to another. The Council leader called the session to order. We gather to formalize Earth's new status under direct Council protection. Ambassador Kong, your planet has wisely chosen cooperation. Kong bowed slightly. We understand the Council's position. Before we proceed, Earth requests permission to address the Assembly. Granted, the Council leader said, expecting words of submission. Ambassador Khan stepped to the central platform.
The chamber fell silent.
Esteemed council members, he began.
For 5 years, Earth has honored our agreement. We disarmed as required. We shared our resources.
We trusted in your wisdom. Council members nodded approvingly.
During this time, Kong continued, we discovered something interesting.
Records showing the Council has monitored Earth for thousands of years. Records showing deliberate interference in our development. Murmurs spread through the chamber. The Council leader's eyes narrowed.
We also found similar patterns on other protected worlds, Kong added.
Systematic exploitation disguised as protection. A pattern repeated dozens of times across the galaxy.
These accusations are baseless, the Council leader interrupted.
The human clearly seeks to delay the inevitable. Ambassador Kong smiled slightly. Not delay. Merely inform. Did you know humans have a saying? Trust, but verify. On the lead council warship, alarms suddenly blared.
Officers rushed to their stations. Unknown energy signature detected, shouted the sensor operator. Massive object emerging from Neptune's orbit.
Fleet Commander June stared in disbelief at the viewscreen.
A colossal vessel was moving toward them, emerging from the shadow of Neptune where it had remained hidden. Black and sleek, it dwarfed even the largest council warship.
Impossible, June whispered. Humans have no such technology.
Back in the council chamber, Ambassador Kong continued speaking calmly as messages flew among the panicked representatives.
We present the HSS Dauntless, he announced.
Built in secret while we publicly complied with your disarmament demands. The chamber erupted in chaos.
A large screen activated, showing the massive human warship approaching the council fleet. This cannot be, shouted the council leader. Earth surrendered all military capability.
We surrendered what you could see, Ambassador Kong corrected.
The Dauntless remained our insurance policy. A policy that now seems wise. Aboard the Dauntless, Admiral Park stood on the command deck, watching the council fleet on the main viewscreen. Her crew worked efficiently at their stations, faces tense but determined. They've detected us, reported Commander Bay. Their fleet is moving into defensive formation. Hold position, Admiral Park ordered. No aggressive maneuvers. Let them see us clearly. They're scanning us, another officer announced. Attempting to assess our capabilities. Admiral Park smiled slightly. Let them look. Activate all systems. Full power. The Dauntless lit up like a small sun as its advanced systems powered to maximum. Energy readings spiked off the council sensors. In the council chamber, screens showed the human warship's energy signature. Technical advisors whispered urgently to their leaders. This vessel possesses weapons capable of matching our entire fleet, one expert admitted. Possibly exceeding them. The council leader turned to Ambassador Kong, fury and fear competing in his expression. This violation of our agreement is an act of war. No, Kong replied calmly. It's an act of self-preservation. Your fleet approaches our world. Your security forces prepare to occupy our planet. We simply revealed our deterrent. On the viewscreen, the Dauntless moved between Earth and the Council fleet. It made no aggressive moves, but its message was clear: Earth was not defenseless. How? Demanded a Council member. How did humans build such a ship in secret? You believed what you wanted to believe, Ambassador Kong explained. You saw what you expected to see: a compliant species surrendering its independence for protection. You never considered we might protect ourselves. Admiral Park's voice came through the chamber's speakers, addressing the council directly. This is Admiral Park of the HSS Dauntless. We have no desire for conflict. But neither will we accept occupation. Earth is now prepared to renegotiate its relationship with the council as equals, not subjects. The council leader stared at the human ambassador, seeing humans in an entirely new light. You deceived us, he said quietly. Ambassador Kong nodded. Just as you deceived us. The difference is, we were better at it. The Council fleet remained in position, weapons systems active but not targeting the Dauntless. An uneasy silence filled space as both sides assessed the situation. On the Council orbital station, emergency sessions continued for hours. Admiral Park stood on the command deck of the Dauntless, watching the tactical display. The massive human warship easily matched the Council fleet in size, though they were outnumbered 15-1. "They're communicating with their homeworlds," reported Commander Bay. "Requesting instructions. And reinforcements, no doubt," Admiral Park added. "How are our systems?" "All functioning at optimal capacity. Defensive shields at full power. Weapons systems ready but not targeted." Admiral Park nodded. "Good. We show strength without aggression." On Earth, President Choi addressed the Global Security Council from a fortified underground facility. Screens showed the standoff in space. "Phase 1 of Operation Shadow Veil is complete," she explained. "The Dauntless has revealed itself. Now we move to Phase 2. Director Kim stepped forward. "For 5 years, we've gathered evidence of Council violations. Their manipulation of Earth and other protected species. Their exploitation of resources. Their violations of their own treaties." On his signal, information packets began transmitting from Earth to every planet in Council space. Using communication channels the Council didn't know humans had accessed, the truth spread across the galaxy. In the Council chamber, Ambassador Kong stood calmly as accusations flew. "You've armed yourselves in secret," shouted the Council leader. "A direct violation of our agreement." "An agreement based on lies," Kong replied. "We have evidence the Council never intended to treat Earth as an equal." He activated a small device. A hologram appeared showing Council members in a private meeting from years ago. "Earth's resources will fuel our expansion for centuries," said the recorded image of the Council leader. "Their people will never know their true value. Like all protected species, they'll serve the Council while believing themselves honored by our attention." The Council leader's face darkened with anger. "Where did you get this?" Before Kong could answer, the chamber doors opened. Representatives from 7 other protected species entered uninvited. "We received the humans' evidence," announced the Proximan ambassador. "We've confirmed its authenticity." "As have we," added the Centauri representative. "For generations, you've exploited our worlds while claiming to protect us." On the main screen, more ships appeared near Earth. Not Council vessels, but ships from the protected worlds. They positioned themselves alongside the Dauntless. "This is Ambassador Han of Proxima Centauri," came a transmission to the Council fleet. "We stand with Earth. The era of Council dominance ends today." Fleet Commander Jun watched with growing alarm as more ships joined the human position. His senior tactical officer approached with a data pad. "Analysis of the human vessel suggests technology we've never encountered," the officer reported quietly. "Some systems appear based on Council designs but significantly advanced." "How?" June demanded. "We've carefully controlled technology transfer to protected species." "Unknown, Commander. But their weapons could destroy half our fleet before we could react." In the Council chamber, representatives argued frantically. The power balance that had lasted millennia was crumbling before their eyes. "We demand full membership for all protected species," Ambassador Kong stated. "Equal representation. Fair resource agreements. And an end to the practice of forced disarmament." "The Council will never agree to such terms," the Council leader insisted. "Then the Council as it exists will end," replied the Proximan ambassador. Already 17 worlds have declared their independence from Council authority. On the Dauntless, Admiral Park received updates from Earth. "The coalition is forming faster than we expected," she told her officers. 23 species have now signaled support for our position." "And the Council fleet?" asked Commander Bay. "Still waiting for orders. Their commanders know they can't win this fight." President Choi's face appeared on the command screen.
Admiral, our intelligence indicates the Council is preparing to offer terms.
Hold position.
3 hours later, the Council leader himself requested to board the Dauntless.
Admiral Park agreed, with security precautions.
The meeting took place in the ship's conference room, where the Council leader saw firsthand the advancement of human technology.
Your ship is impressive, he acknowledged reluctantly. How did you build it in secret?
By understanding that peace requires strength, Admiral Park replied. We hoped never to need the Dauntless, but we weren't naive enough to trust blindly. The Council leader studied her.
What does Earth want? A new beginning. A true galactic council where all species have equal voice. Fair trade. Mutual defense. Real cooperation instead of exploitation.
1 week later, representatives from all Council worlds gathered on Earth, the first time the Council had met on a formerly protected planet. In a ceremony broadcast across the galaxy, the old Council was dissolved and a new galactic alliance formed.
Ambassador Kong signed for Earth as an equal founding member.
As he placed his thumb on the document scanner, he caught Admiral Park's eye across the room.
She gave a slight nod.
The Dauntless remained in orbit above Earth, a reminder that humans had earned their place among the stars not just through diplomacy, but through strength and foresight.
Trust, Admiral Park had told the Council leader, grows from respect.
And sometimes, respect must be earned through readiness.